So my topic is, can alternative energy replace fossil fuels? Very debated topic. So the proposition, we need to replace fossil fuels, and basically what are fossil fuels? Fossil fuels have been accumulated over what scientists believe millions of years that we use our energy off of, like crude oil and coal. Burning these substances emits bad emissions, carcinogens, and just like tons of pollution. In China, there's a huge pollution issue with people some days not even being able to go outside and always having to wear a mask, which in our world we should be able to walk around freely. Alternative energy sustains the future. So I don't know if you guys know Elon Musk, but he says that with his 100 Tesla, if he has 100 Tesla gigafactories, it's enough power to store enough energy for the whole world. So this would take up quite a big space because they're quite big, but only 100 basically buildings would be able to create enough energy and store enough energy for the whole world. Also, just for America, if we took up a small corner of Utah or Nevada, 100 miles by 100 miles of solar panels, that would generate enough power for the whole United States. And I know it's kind of ridiculous to have a straight 100 mile by 100 mile, but if you think of all the commercial buildings with rooftops that could easily be putting on these solar panels, it's definitely doable. There's many options and routes of alternative energy. So as you guys know, we have solar, we have thermal, we have wind turbines that could create energy. Also, nuclear fusion is a big future for alternative energy, and it's not as scary as it sounds. What we typically have right now is nuclear fission, and it's basically a chain reaction of explosions, and if that gets out of control, the whole thing melts down, as we know with Chernobyl and Fukushima. But what fusion is the constant combining of energy. So if something doesn't work and the nuclear reactants stop working, all it would do is just not be able to make that combination anymore, and it's impossible for it to melt down. So extremely safe, and the power it creates is enormous compared to the amount of fuel that we have to put inside of it. So it's basically how our sun works, which is just a big ball of continuous energy. Also, with Elon Musk, he has another company called Solar City, and what they're doing is they're creating solar panels for residential roofs, and they look like just the normal, like either French tile or whatever roof that you have. They have a warranty of infinity years, so he says that the roof will last longer than your house. So as your house isn't crumbles, you'll have a perfectly, perfect roof. I just lost where was that? So the payment packages for a lot of these alternative energies, they look expensive up front, but drawn out over a long period of time, you're actually going to be saving more money than if you were to continue using the fossil fuels. And fossil fuels are estimated to be running out in around 40 to 50 years. So we really don't have a lot of time. And the sad thing is it's taken around maybe 400 to 500 million years to create these fossil fuels. And we've been burning them for the past 200 years. And basically the 200 to 300 years, we're going to wipe out, our whole storage of fossil fuels. So the switch is needed to go to any source of alternative energy. Like I stated with solar panels, and yes, there's many options to do it. And also another alternative for saving energy is the new Tesla vehicles, which, as we all know, are pretty amazing. They just made one where it breaks the fastest, it's the fastest commercial car that you could purchase. And the 0 to 60 is like 1.9 seconds. So it's very cool cars that are also affordable now and can last around a lifetime. And yeah, so that's alternative energy.
Did you have an outline that you wanted to give me now, or are you going to give me something later?
Yeah, something later. I have my outline though, so if you'd like that.
The original one?
Yeah, the original.
With comments? Yeah, I'll take that. That's fine, thank you. All right. It sounds at first like you don't really have a proposition. You're just asking us a question, which is not a claim or an inference. Then you do sort of present a claim that says we need to replace fossil fuels. The problem with that is I don't think anybody disputes that. Ultimately, fossil fuels are going to run out. Nobody's denying that that's the case. There might be some argument about how long it's going to take for us to exhaust our fossil fuel resources, but nobody thinks that they're infinite, so that's not really where the controversy on this is. The controversy on this is how fast we should do this, whether what alternatives are available now would be sufficient to replace fossil fuels more quickly than we're currently doing so, or whether the cost that we would spend right now to do this is going to pay off in the long run, and in the long run will save us money. Those are sort of the things that ought to be the main propositional arguments for your claim, and they're not. There's not really a preview of what the structure is going to be. I can't tell you what pattern of information it is that you are presenting. It feels very randomized. Sometimes you are presenting a point and it's a piece of information about Elon Musk and his 100 Tesla energy plants. And then other times there's something like a claim that says, in the long term, the payment package would give us advantages over time. You need to have your claims stated as inferences. They need to be signposted, and then plug the information that you're going to use to support those claims into that structure. As it is, I can't really tell where you're going at any point. It's whatever the last sentence was, that's what I'm thinking about, and the next piece of information may have nothing to do with it at all. That's problematic. All of the stuff that you use as evidence in your argument sounds like an ad for Elon Musk. I mean, I've got his energy plant, I've got his automobile that is going out there, I've got his solar city residential rooftop stuff going on. I'm going, well, this is, why don't we just turn the whole world over to Elon Musk and he'll fix everything. And he's also going to put us in little tubes and send us around the planet on a regular basis. I'm not sure that I have that much confidence in Elon Musk. I think he's a bright guy. I know he's innovative, but the notion that all of this can be done sounds like a grandiose plan. And right now, the only people who are talking about doing it are the people who, it's their company. I think you need to have more information than you've got here for your speech. So you need to, like I said, find the controversial part of this. If you want to argue that solar energy could currently replace all of our other forms of electrical generation, that would be very clear. And then you could tell us how it would work. We could have, that this a single solar energy plant is capable of producing as much energy as the country needs. That new technologies will allow us to store that energy and transport it to the places that are necessary, and that in the future alternative vehicles and resources will be able to utilize that energy, something like that. Then you've got something that's a little bit clearer, and I can see how things are fitting together. There are things that would be an argument in your speech. We're just having to work too hard to find them. You need to dig them out. You need to make the argument. I shouldn't have to guess what your argument is. It should be clear. That's the whole point of the speech, to give you a chance to tell us, here's what the problem is, here's how we could solve this problem, and here's the proof that this would work. That's what your argument needs to be. Okay, thank you.